Oh, hi. Welcome to module one. Let's do this. Okay, ready? The importance of email. Let's just dive in. So, first things first, email is not dying. When somebody says to you, no, it's all social media and it's the TikTok and it's the YouTubes or the influencer marketings and the God knows what else, pay to play. No, it's email. You guys, it's still working. I promise you. It is not dying at all. We are in our inboxes, and the amount of email sent every day is mind blowing. It's in the billions. Did you know that on Black Friday, there is 1 trillion emails sent? And that's growing all the time as more email accounts are created and more messaging moves towards virtual and inbox and private and exclusive content. So yes, we're using social more, but we're also still increasing our email usage all the time, for better or for worse. And it's where we want to be. So we know that most marketers, and particularly B2B, but let's just say B2C and human to human, H to H, which is human selling to humans. We're all receiving and sending. It doesn't matter what you're selling or who you're selling to. We find email to be the most successful channel. And what we mean by that is that it has the highest power to convert and to change the course of action that someone is going to take. For example, pushing towards your goal to have them move into the next product that you sell or the next level of service that you provide, or simply become a repeat customer and get them back into your fold because you're showing up. And they may not hang out on Instagram. They may not follow you on Instagram, but if you've worked with them before or you've captured their email address, you can reach them in their inbox. It goes without saying that this is an important place to be and a really important tactic to be utilizing. So we know that we are purchasing from our email. We know that as consumers, we do this, and as marketers, we see this happening as well. And our conversion rates can be very, very high if we utilize email properly. Beyond that, it is one of our only owned pieces of marketing real estate. When we look at earned media, we're talking about the placements that we might receive in media if we are lucky enough to have media coverage by a third-party unbiased editorial source, or the referrals and advocacy that we've earned through our loyal fans and followers and buyers and customers alike. When we talk about the third channel, that's paid. And that goes without saying that it's the stuff we have to buy, the pay to play spaces that we need to invest in. When we talk about owned, they're few and far between. It's the search ranking that we've earned over time, and that we can sort of take ownership of, but also that can change. Sometimes it's out of our control. We don't have the keys to the algorithm there. When we talk about our website, yes, we own that. Is anyone traveling to it? Not sure. But the most powerful of these own channels is our list, our email subscriber base that sometimes can be gigantic and really well read, and open rates high and click-through rates even higher. So if we take into consideration that there is nobody else telling us when we can reach these people and how often we can utilize this beautiful list of subscribers, we start to see how different it is from our other marketing channels, and in particular the social networks that are becoming harder and harder to get seen on. So the challenge, of course, is to have email and a strategy for it that answers the call for this one-to-one boutique communication where we feel like we're being spoken to one-to-one versus like 1 to 1 million, the big bucks instead of, small and intimate. And the reason that this matters is because as consumers today, we want to know that, well, we matter, and that we're not just kind of 1 in 1 million, and that whatever's landing in our inbox is somewhat personalized, or at least it's designed for us. And over time, this has really evolved quickly, and our expectations have become quite high maintenance really fast, even without us realizing it as users and subscribers. The reason being that we have these platforms that know us well, and through machine learning and AI have understood our preferences. They look no further than Netflix and Spotify. They know what you want and what you need next. And if you don't get the right kind of suggestions on what you might like next, or what's going to show up in your feed, you're sort of surprised by this. This is how quickly we have not even recognized the fact that this one-to-one intimate tailored conversation or targeted messaging is landing on us. And believe it or not, we expect it. But No longer then are we thinking just about acquisition. What matters to consumers, to you and I, if we take off our marketing hat, we put on our consumer hat, it's again feeling like we belong, feeling like we are being understood, that we know the brands that we're engaging with and opening and subscribing to, and that they're adding value to our lives. Otherwise, no thanks. I've got enough choice out there. God knows I could go to the next shoe company and subscribe to their e-newsletter or buy their product. So as companies, we're focusing less on acquisition, while important. We're going to talk about that. Cold leads, can't discount them, and we need them, but also retention and advocacy, because when we get people towards those feelings of love and loyalty, they stay. They repeat purchase, they stick around, they tell their friends, and they feel like they're a part of something that they want to grab onto, and the benefits and the scalability of that are unbelievable. So when we can create sort of sophisticated campaigns, we'll call them, where we have greater access to the data and the insights and the open rates or kind of behaviors of our subscribers, we can then go ahead and plug them into these platforms that are making it really easy to use and really easy to do so like never before. And as I said, email marketing providers have come so far in the last few years that now just about every single one of them has the ability to let you create some kind of sequence or dynamic campaign that addresses these needs of our users and gives them something a little bit more filtered, tailored, and targeted. So why is email so important? Well, let's just get down to the numbers here. So when it comes to reach, there are 3 times more email accounts than there are Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter combined. And we consider that those 3 platforms alone are, they combine to 4 billion monthly active users. That's pretty substantial. We've got a lot of email going on. And I don't know about you, but I think I've got 17 accounts. 90% of email gets delivered to the intended recipient's inbox. That's because the MailChimps and the Constant Contacts and the Kajabis have worked really hard to make it so that their emails are deliverable and that they're not filtered to the max by the Googles and the Yahoos and the Outlooks. So we know that that is their job. That's what they're working on, email deliverability. We have to do our job, of course, with the right subject lines and content and overall kind of appeal to get opened and get delivered. But we're not, again, facing algorithmic filtering to the extent of our social feeds, whereby 2%, 4%, maybe 10 if you're really lucky and small of your content that you post on your feeds is even being served up to the fans and followers of your account. Right there is the organic reach problem, which is so tough to navigate on social today, because unless we pay to play, so much of it just doesn't get seen. So if you do email marketing right, it gets seen all right. It's sitting in the inbox and it's very openable to those who want to read it. The final piece here that is so important is that when someone subscribes to your email list or your newsletter, they are actively opting in to hear from you. And I don't know that we really have put enough thought to what that means. There is not probably very many platforms that you sit around waiting to be promoted to. Like you're turning on YouTube and hoping that a pre-roll ad shows up. No, probably not. Or a commercial in the middle of your favorite show, or a promoted piece of content in the middle of your LinkedIn feed or your Instagram reels. It just doesn't happen. We don't sit there waiting for ads. We go to those places to be entertained or to escape or to get out of our inbox and away from our work. But when we have subscribers saying, yeah, all right, sign me up. I want you to promote to me. I want you to market to me or connect with me, really, serve me. But what they're allowing us to do is send them our messaging, send them our ads if we want to. Of course, we're going to be smarter than that, and we're going to hide our messaging, our promotional content within our email messaging. But that is something very powerful, and we've got to meet them there and speak to them and serve them right in that sort of format that they've asked for. If you're opting in for something today, chances are you feel a real affinity for that brand. You might just be curious, or you may just have wanted their free ebook or their 10% off coupon. But a lot of us opt into things because we find them and we feel like, yes, I have just unsubscribed from 72,000 things that I don't care to hear from anymore. I don't know how I got on that list. Going forward, I feel like I really want to hear from this brand because I care about them. I feel like I know them. I've also kind of tapped into their social feeds and I feel like I have an affinity, or I know them, I like them, I trust them. So there's social 101, very powerful. But now I want to actually hear from them on a regular basis in my very personal inbox. So action and conversion. So we know that there's proof in the numbers here, and that the click-through rate of an email campaign, at minimum is 2 to 3%. And the old question of what's a good open rate, what's a good click-through rate, as in once I'm in your email, am I clicking on any of your calls to actions, your buttons, your links, your inciting words? And that's very personal. It's industry dependent. It depends on the size of your list and just how fresh and clean it is, and what you're creating and how badly people want to read it. But I'll tell you, if I am spending as much time as we are on email marketing and really doubling down on it because we know it's our number one converting tool for sales and revenue, I'm not settling for a 10% open rate and a 3% click-through rate. I'm hoping and expecting 30 to 40% open rates, and constantly iterating and improving, whether it's subject lines, content, or other triggers to get to a higher place if I need to. So that's going to be a personal thing, and you're going to have to watch that, but we can aim for pretty high places here because that is what email allows us to do. ROI, speaking of, when we think about acquiring new leads, and we're constantly doing this, again, it's that top of funnel, new lead, cold prospecting type activity that is necessary in any business. And yes, we're going to keep doing that, but we're going to absolutely nurture those in our fold. And we can do that on social, and we can do it with other marketing efforts, but with email, man, can it be done well and affordably? And that is where we have these campaigns, and they're essentially journeys. You can call it a funnel, like a sales funnel, where they go from the cold down to the hot, and we get them to take action at the bottom. But at Social School, we like to make it a little nicer and turn it on its side and call it a journey. So they start out in one place, and you get them to the finish line. And the finish line is not just their goal, because now you've given them what they've wanted, and they finally bought that pair of shoes that they were so excited to buy because the final trigger for them was that coupon or that new color. But they've gotten to your goals as well. You've done your achievement by getting them to purchase or to subscribe or whatever your goal is. So of course we want to nurture people through, and not just focus on that acquisition or that top of funnel, new leads, ads, hey, look at me, awareness building activity. And email is fantastic for the final pieces of the funnel or the journey to get them there. So this is a stat that is from the Content Marketing Institute. For every $1 that you spend on email marketing, we can expect an average return of $44. And we've seen this go higher, we've seen it lower, but I can't argue with the fact that for every $1 of time, and if we do put any kind of resourcing financially into email marketing, we see a huge return. People are often waiting for those emails that lead them to purchase, or a repeat appointment. And if they're nurtured along the way, as Gary Vaynerchuk likes to call it, jab, 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 right hook, or give, get, you get the sale, you get the appointment, you get the conversion, because you've given and you've served along the way. Seth Godin, it's permission marketing. You don't just go in with the cold call and the pitch and the telemarketer, which is more offensive than ever today, because why haven't you nurtured me along? Who are you? First of all, where'd you get my number? And second, I don't even know who you are. I don't know that I believe in your values. I don't know who you are, because I haven't trolled your about page yet. I haven't seen you on social. And also, you're selling me something I didn't ask for. So if we can really nurture people properly, man, you start to see how this number comes through. And of course, it can be bigger or smaller depending on the value of what you're selling, but the ROI is there. So what is our goal? Well, so many things that we've already talked about, but let's think about breaking it down to the needs of our audience and our subscribers, which is where we need to approach all of our marketing today. It is not about us. It is not about where we went to school or how many awards we have or what we need to sell. It is about their needs and their pain points and speaking their language. So the moment they land on your website, when you've gotten them there from your e-newsletter, amen. Good job. Don't let them go. And the second they get there, or reverse. The second they see that subject line and they open that e-newsletter, it's speaking their language right to them, using words like you and your, and understanding what that pain point is in order to address it in a roundabout or direct way, or an emotionally kind of targeted way that's not just so surface level product forward. It knows their needs and it addresses it, and it creates some form of delight, not annoyance. It's serving them with what they hope and dream about, and maybe even kind of working in some of those deepest desires or fears and the other things that matter, and getting us and them towards their goal. So a lot of things at play here that work into our other content plans. We're talking about things that also, we talk about on social, and we talk about it with our websites and our key messages, but we're bringing these all into our email marketing strategies like never before. And we're not just using it as a place to puke out 1,000 words and promote to people in their inbox. It's just not working. So next up, we're going to talk about the customer journey and how to map out those 3 key campaigns that we love and believe in wholeheartedly. And I will see you there.